Alrighty, hello everybody. Welcome back to the Mania Squid Game. We're back once again with our special game for the round. And we have argong1 going with fogershot in this very exciting matchup. As always, my name is Sparky and I'm joined in the commentary booth by none other than Rhymes with Mash. Mash, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I am looking forward to this match. Argong is the challenger, fogershot being the challenged, and it's first to 3, best of 5. So this is going to be a pretty quick match, and we've got another one lined up for you guys right after this. So expect some good content here. And it looks like we're already getting into the protects and bans. argong1 protecting Rice 2, blinded by light, and then fogershot is protecting press start, long note 1. Pretty opposed protects here. You think we're going to see a long note Rice matchup?
Yeah, it's shaping up to be one of those Ellen Rice dichotomies building up here. It's always interesting. We don't really see a lot of best of 5 formats, so the fact that everything's kind of like hyper condensed, I feel like it kind of benefits the Rice player in this regard because the map pool has so many more like pure Rice picks to go through, whereas the LN player kind of has to deal with throwing a bone into the hybrids if the LN does get banned. But it looks like these players actually opting to shake it up a little bit. So hybrid 1 and Rice 1 going to get banned out. So Foger going to have both LNs to work with, and Argong going to have 3 at their disposal for the Rice picks.
Yeah, it's actually pretty interesting. Maybe it's not as straightforward as we thought here. Argong protecting Rice and banning Rice, fogershot protecting long note and banning hybrid. Shakes things up a bit. We might see them dipping into each other's realms a little bit more than expected, but here we go into the first pick. Argong is picking their protect Rice 2, blinded by light, mapped by Electon.
Yeah, unsurprising here. I feel like with this very short format, this best of 5, I feel like a lot of players are going to opt to protect their map, know that they have something in their back pocket, and immediately play it out just to get that first point on the board. Because the last thing you want to do is give up that first break point, have your opponent capitalize on it, and then find yourself immediately with your back against the wall.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is the strategy I would go with as well, because you really just don't have time to do much else.
Yeah, there is no room to play around here. It's either perform on your map or find yourself quickly eliminated, and both players going to be trading misses very early on here. These are very, very hard maps, and if I recall correctly, these two are some of our lower seeded players in this tournament.
Yeah, it's kind of going to be a battle of who can lose less accuracy here, and fogershot is coming out on top by about 3% in this first quarter, but when they're both struggling like this, who knows what could happen.
Yeah, for sure. Argong definitely not out of this just yet. We see fogershot finding quite a number of misses as Argong finds a bit of combo to work with and actually takes that lead back as fogershot finally maintaining the accuracy lead by about a full percent, but that slew of misses is going to be giving Argong a bit of breathing room to work with as they finally find the miss here going into the second quarter of the chart.
Yeah, this is really interesting because when you're at such low accuracies, things like combo and accuracy kind of matter less in a way. It's really interesting to see a match like this happen as opposed to a more traditional matchup on a pool that's easier for the players.
Yeah, for sure. I think we go on and on, prattling on about 99% and above. So seeing more, I don't want to say human-like accuracies, but I feel like when we push the skill ceiling past what players are comfortable with, basically that kind of war of attrition that starts to develop, and we're seeing it here develop before our eyes as Argong starting to climb back up in the accuracy, was down in that B rank, now pushing up into that mid 94%. fogershot actually dealing with both the score and accuracy deficit going into the back half as the jump stream starts to build up once again, taking both players for a bit of a ride.
Yeah, we saw fogershot come up with a hefty lead in the beginning section, which was somewhat similar to this in the jump stream aspect. So maybe they can pull it back in this more dense final quarter, but they have a long ways to go here.
Yeah, for sure. A quarter of the map still left to go. About 2% separating the players right now, but Argong, by virtue of building up that sizable combo lead very early on, kind of taking that and riding it to the end of this chart now, things start to calm down a little bit. I think there's one final nasty burst of jump stream here at the end, but overall, the thick of it is done now. So advantage for Argong unless something devastating happens on their end as they climb back up into that S rank. 95% for them now.
Yeah, they're actually doing much better on this ending compared to their accuracy at the beginning. Might actually pull out with an S rank like you said.
Oh, and as he said, it starts to climb back down.
Ooh, fogershot looking worse for wear on the other side. I think this is done and dusted. Argong winning by almost exactly 100,000 points there.
Yeah, but that was Argong's protect. They felt secure in the fact that, sure, they might not be able to pull out the S rank, but so long as your score is higher than your opponent's, that's all that matters at the end of the day. And they pick up their first point in this match, go up 1-0.
Yeah, I was really wondering what these players were thinking during this point. I wonder what they thought their opponent was getting while they were just spraying and praying.
That's honestly the best way to put it. I feel like it's a tale of two stories. Argong's probably like, wow, okay, I got away with one, and fogershot's probably like, oh, that wasn't as bad as I thought.
Yeah, and here we see fogershot going into his protect, press start, no surprise there, and contrary to the points you see on screen, Argong is up 1-0. Hopefully fogershot can come back for a tie here.
There we go, properly illustrated up on screen. And yeah, this is fogershot's opportunity to answer back. Would be quite a pickle they find themselves in if they do give over this break point, because you would imagine Argong might feel a little bit more comfortable picking into some of the harder rice, seeing that results of rice 2. But with that being said, we're getting on into LN1. Let's see if we can tie it up or have a match point situation on our hands.
Yeah, this is a pretty intense long note map. I'm really wondering if fogershot will be able to pull out with the upper hand here. But as it stands, Argong is putting up a really good fight, 99.43 FC thus far, and fogershot hanging down in the A rank. It's going to take a lot if he wants to pull up.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, we saw a similar story at the start of Rice 2 where Argong had that B rank for quite a significant portion of the first part of that song, but managed to pull themselves together and really claw together a bit of a performance. Finally finding the miss there, losing the full combo, but already from the get-go, doing quite a bit of work here. 7% the difference between these two players as we get into this first real quote-unquote break of the song before the next drop.
It makes me wonder why Argong protected Rice instead of one of these LN picks. They're doing much better on this.
Maybe it's one of those where people are creatures of habit, where when you get into these lower seeds, they tend to hang on to what they know best, and most players tend to hang on to Rice before they venture willingly into the LNs. That, or maybe they wanted to keep it a surprise and maybe lure fogershot into a bit of a false sense of security, feeling like, okay, you're protecting Rice, maybe I can do something on the LNs. And given that Rice 2 performance might be operating under that false information, meanwhile Argong starting to really pull away here. 97.9, about to climb back up into the 98s, and fogershot about to climb back up into the 93s before the next real back half of the chart here.
Yeah, you make a really good point. I think Argong is set to run away with this pick, even at the 2/3 mark. Fogershot is climbing though, but at 98%, Argong it's going to take a miracle for them to drop.
Yeah, ball is fully in their court right now, and it doesn't look like they feel like sharing for the moment. Last quarter of the chart left to go. Another bit of a lull in the action of this chart before it starts to pick up once again for this final section, but the damage has already been done. The score gap is about to climb up into about 200,000, and there's only one player between these two that has held on to any real semblance of combo, and it has been Argong so far.
Yeah, and this was fogershot's pick, so taking a breakpoint, Argong will have pretty much everything open to them after what they've seen here. Clearly strong on long notes and able to at least mash their way through a rice pick. I think they've just got a lot of options moving forward.
Yeah, for sure. So Argong taking that first breakpoint, making it 2-0, putting fogershot up against the corner, and we're gonna see a bit of everything this match. We're gonna go into hybrid 2 now.
Yeah, one of each. Not a bad strategy, I guess.
Yeah, no real specialization, spreading it all out on the table. If, like I said, Argong felt like they got away with on the rice, and they now see that LN result. Now they probably feel a little bit more emboldened to go into a bit of a blend of both.
Yeah, and considering fogershot banned the other hybrid, this is certainly a respectable pick by Argong, and we'll just have to see how it plays out. But seeing as this is uncharted territory, I think fogershot might have a chance, depending on the density of the rice here.
Yeah, I think this is a nicer blend, but right now fogershot tripping up on this early LN section before the chart really starts to kick off. Might just be a little bit of discomfort, or maybe a little bit of coldness in the hands, maybe not fully warmed up to the task here, but that's only going to help Argong at the moment. 9.5 for them, looking very comfortable so far.
Yeah, fogershot is gaining on these rice parts, but Argong is not yielding either. We see misses from both players, and we are back into this long note section, and Argong still holding up much better than Foger, who's hanging out at a low A rank.
Yeah, crossing into the B rank now. And I mean, this is just a tale of one person that's... I think the ceiling's just that little bit higher for Argong. It's on this map pool in particular, and we're really seeing it come to fruition. As you mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Argong was the one selected by the wheel, and they specifically chose fogershot for this match, and I feel like they're reaping the benefits of that decision just based on the results so far. Back half of the chart still to come, but it is about 10% the difference between the two players, and it is about 200,000 the score gap between the two of them.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if Argong could have shot a little higher and eliminated a higher seeded player, or if that would have been too greedy for them.
Yeah, it's always that double-edged sword. It's like, do I go for somebody that I know I can beat, or do I go for somebody around my level that I can maybe try and take out early before I have to face them later? But I mean, when you are in those lower seeds, you kind of just take what you can get in some regards, because we have some matches later on this weekend where that very same instance happened, where you have players that are about equal skill level going up against each other to see if they can knock each other out before we get later on into this tournament, see if they can maybe pull a fast one on them, especially in this shorter format. And as this song comes to an end, Argong is going to comfortably take the win over fogershot, knocking them out of the tournament by a score of 3-0.
Yeah. Really interesting scores, especially that first rice pick was a curiously close point, but congratulations to argong1 for defeating fogershot. Commiserations to fogershot. You have made it thus far, but you are now eliminated. Good game,
Yeah,
well played.
that's just the way the cookie crumbles. You can only take the matches that are presented in front of you, and unfortunately not going to be progressing any further. But congratulations, Argong. Took a calculated risk, and it paid off in spades. Going to see themselves into the next round next weekend. But with that being said, this block of matches is not over. We're probably going to take a tiny little bit of a break just for VOD purposes. But next up, we have Lot going up against Kimui in about 9 minutes. So take a quick little break, maybe get some water, and we'll catch you guys in just a little bit.